Dolphin Sweet, great grandparents.
Somewhere sweetly through the air, hear the angels singing, Christ the Lord is born today, peace on earth is bringing, world divided in rebuild, love above excelling, melody in a manger lay.
Welcome to Glen Rock, where the Glen Rock Carolers will be celebrating a tradition that began in our town in 1848. That makes this the 173rd time that the Carolers will be traveling around town singing the Old English carols. I'm Daryl Engler, the musical director of the Glen Rock Carolers.
I'm Glen Engler, the assistant musical director. Due to the crisis presented by COVID-19 and the terrible pandemic throughout the world, the 10-member executive board of the Carolers Association met on September 20th and unanimously adopted the following plan.
First, all of our indoor activities for 2020 will be canceled. This includes the Christmas Eve concert at Zion Lutheran Church. It includes the New Freedom Senior Center concert for December the 6th. It also includes the 2 retirement homes that we normally sing for. That would be Normandy Ridge and Country Meadows at Leader Heights. And unfortunately, it includes our 3 rest stops throughout Christmas night and Christmas morning. This year it would have been the Legion, the Glen Rock Fire Company, and the Well, sponsored by Emmanuel United Methodist Church.
In addition, we thought it ill-advised to group all 60 of us together at the square, so we will be singing in 2 separate groups of about 25 to 30. Daryl will be directing one group. I will lead the other group, which will start right here at the town Christmas tree and start our travels by going up Church Street in the normal fashion. New Street, back to church, up to Center Street, turn left onto Center Street, right onto Walnut Street, which curves around and goes right across Church Street, near the end of High Street, across the backyard to the right, back to Center Street, down Center, turn left onto Park Avenue, left onto Hayward Heights, that curls up and around, and we end up coming down Geipel Steps, traveling across the rail trail to Valley Street. We'll go up Valley Street, turn right onto Camp Street, right onto Glen Avenue, come back around to Valley Street, and go down to sing a carol or 2 on Baltimore Street. We'll sing at the square, and then we'll follow Main Street back here to the Christmas tree. It'll probably be close to 2:30 by that time.
At midnight also, another group of 25 to 30 carolers will begin at the Star, and we will cover all the streets that we covered last year on the Manchester and Hanover Street side. In particular, we will start at the Star and go out Ridge Avenue to Glenview Road, all of Edge Hill Road to Hillside Terrace, Pine Street to Ronald Street, cutting through the parking lot at the Glen Rock American Legion, down Manchester Street to the square, up Hanover Street, up the steps to Cottage Way, that's the name of the dirt alley, to Cottage Avenue, back to Hanover Street, to Glenview Road, up Ridge Avenue to the Star, and finishing at the Star probably around 2:30 a.m.
And then also, as is our tradition, we will finish with the doxology. One group will sing the doxology first,
followed by the other group singing the doxology as an echo. With a direct line of sight between the Star and the tree, everybody in between should be able to hear both groups sing the doxology. This would be our message to the community that although we were apart all night, we are now back together, and we hope that the entire community will be back together by next Christmas.
I'd like at this time to recognize our life members as we do each year. First of all, the longest serving caroler, P.W. Bud Shepard. This would be Bud's 79th year. Donnie Sloniker, this will be his 66th year. 65 for Charlie Miller. Dave Garber, 62 years. Larry Flemons, 60 years. Ken Crow, 60. Bob Crow Sr., 60. Denny Wirtz, 60 years. Bill Ehrman, 56 years. Jack Crow, 55 years. And Steve Grove will serve his 54th year this Christmas 2020. In addition, we'll have 3 more members who will sing for their 50th Christmas and leave the Cape membership to graduate into the life membership roles with 50 years. That would be Daryl Engler, Lauren Crow, and Tony Schuhart. As they become life members, they'll open up 3 slots in the Cape membership for new men to come in. In addition, Dwayne Krebs and Tyler Wetzel have asked to go on to the inactive roles, thus making a total of 5 new members we can welcome this year.
The 5 newly caped members this Christmas Eve will be Chad Bubb. Now, Chad Bubb already has 19 years of service with the Carolers, both as an associate and a caped member, but most recently he was on the inactive list. So Chad is back in the area and will be caped again with 19 years of service. Then we have Jeff Brown with 11 years, Reed McGarvey, 11 years, John Weaver, 10 years, and George Brown with 9 years. In addition, we have 3 members receiving their service pins. We have Jim Huffman with 20 years, Mark Steger with 20 years, and Carl Steger with 40 years.
There's one last very significant accomplishment I'd like to mention right now. Back in 1949, when Morel Heitschuh passed away, that ended a 36-year stint where he was the musical director of the Glen Rock Carolers Association. No other man served so long as our director until last year, when my brother Daryl directed his 36th year. That means that in 2020, Christmas morning, when Daryl directs Christians Awake, Salute This Happy Morn, he will be starting his 37th year and will thus be the longest serving musical director of the Glen Rock Carolers. The director is more than just waving your arms around and telling the group what to sing next. Daryl's usually the one who receives the telephone calls asking where the carolers will be at a certain time. Can the carolers come and sing for us? They'd like some history of the group to put in the newspaper or on the television. When something new comes up, Daryl's the one who researches it ahead of time and usually comes up with a plan to present for the group's consideration at our next meeting. Plus, I'd like to recognize my brother Daryl as the person who directed the concept of dynamics to the carol singers. We have more than just loud since Daryl's around. When you see my brother Daryl in the future, please thank him and congratulate him for all his talent and his time that he has spent leading the Glen Rock Carol Singers. Thank you, Daryl.
We have one more significant accomplishment I would like to talk about before we leave you, and that is Glenn mentioned Merle Heitschuh as being the director for 36 years. The first 23 of those years, he did it without an assistant director. And then he had an assistant director in the name of Art Bamforth, a familiar name in this community and in the Carol Singers. Art Bamforth was the assistant musical director for 14 years. So back in 1997, when the Glen Rock Carolers were celebrating their 150th anniversary, Glenn already had his 14th year as assistant musical director, thereby tying the record. And so in 1998, Glenn became the longest serving assistant musical director with his 15 years. And since that time, counting this year in 2020, Glenn will have broken his own record 22 times, and now having served as the assistant musical director for the longest in the Carolers' history of 37 years. So until midnight Christmas Eve, I'd like to say Merry Christmas.
Have a Merry Christmas.
Christmas.